Yeah. Yo. And it's like, we knew this was gonna happen. We knew it. Child, this is my review for Greenleaf. So, Zora basically is trying to leave, right? And she's being very impatient, like her mom, Carissa just left the day before, and she's like, well, my flight is tonight. And, Jacob's like, listen, you gotta compromise here. Like, we literally just bent over backwards because we literally could have just said, hell to the no, you're not going anywhere. But we compromised and said, okay, you want to go to New York, that's fine. But let's just do it the right way. And you're sitting here like, but I want it right now. And it's like, no, you need to compromise. Like, give people, like, girl, your family's church is about to be torn down. A shitload of problems are happening. I know they ain't got much to do with you, but at the same time, like, girl, like, come on. Your stuff is small right now. Chill. But she even went as far as to asking Sophia, well, why don't you ask your mom for the money? I'm like, what? And then later on in the episode, Sophia, which we all figured, Zora didn't even tell Grace about the pictures, and I don't understand why Sophia thought, because again, knowing Grace, Grace would have been all in Sophia's face, like, what the, like she would have been all in her face, asking questions, because that's just how Grace is. But, Sophia, girl, she ends up saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to send those pictures to Dante, and then Grace is like, what pictures? It's like, ugh, so now you gotta sit here and explain all this bullshit and stuff, but child, yo, like, nothing else even matters at this point. That's why I'm like trying to get it all out the way, because so we can go ahead and get the ball rolling. I just want to go ahead and get that out the way. At one point in the episode, AJ, you know, Bishop was, talking to AJ. Basically, he's not trying, like, it's like he's trying to get him to understand how Jesus works and all the other stuff, and how real and all the other stuff, but he's not pressuring AJ like, you have to do this. Like, when you are ready, I'm here. Oh my gosh, yo. At some point, I'm gonna let y'all know now, I'm gonna cry. Like, this ain't right. But, so we're trying to understand who, this lady, what's the connection between Daryl James. Is his name Daryl James? The connection between Daryl and the lady that used to own the house. Well, first of all, last week they made it seem like Darius was dead or some shit, right? And mind you, this whole entire episode, I was paranoid as fuck. Bro. Um, one, you had Darius was in jail, right? So Grace bails him out, like, dude, she literally bailed this guy out like nothing happened. I don't know. I ain't like that. I'm like, what? So, bailed him out. First of all, I know Rick Fox is older, but damn, dude got booty. Like, bump, 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 bump. you know, and he a little thickum. See, little, something like that. But anyway, so, they're talking about, the emails being wiped, and, they put him in jail and all that, blah, 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 whatever. He alive, that's all that matters. Bull. At one point, they go to the church, because they were supposed to tear it down, y'all remember? And Bob Whitfield, that's his name! Bob Whitfield was like, hold it, because he's about to announce his candidacy, right? And so, Phil and Judy with the two E's is there. Um, what's his name, Philando, he's there. Grace and them, they show up, and she's like, you can't, tear this church down because, the property that Jacob and Carissa sold, they didn't know that it was, Hope and Harmony, was behind it. So then it was like, well, so Fernando was like, well, actually, Carissa did know about it. She knew all about it, okay, and she quite, enjoyed it. We all know what happened with that. And so Grace was like, well, let's call Jacob to see. So Jacob, they called Jacob. Jacob's like, cool, I'll ask. Carissa, they call Carissa. She on the phone. She's like, yeah, I knew about it. It's like, man, she could have been like, no, I ain't know about it. But she was like, yeah, I knew about it. It's like, oh, God. So, at this point, now, while they're at the church, Noah shows up and he's like, I found the lady that used to be, not the lady, the guy that used to be the caretaker of the lady that left the house, the white lady, her. See, I forgot her name. I just remember Bob Whitmore's name, but everybody else gone. But so they go to this guy, this white man. He's living in a little shack or whatever, and basically he's like, listen. At first he was like, I couldn't understand why this Negro man is over here talking to this white woman like that, and he just, she just let it happen. I never understood. So, he giving off racist vibes, right? So then, Grace is like, well, what's the connection? And then she's like, were they lovers? And he was like, I hope not. And so naturally, we're like, because it's like, we don't, do that kind of thing around here. And so then Grace like, is it because he's black? And she's like, no, because that's his son. We was like, oh. Well, so you gotta understand when you over here talking about, Negro man and you giving off racist vibes and everything, girl, what did you expect from us? So Grace goes back to the house with this news. Um, Before that, Bishop is trying to move up the date for him and Lady Mae to get married. And Lady Mae was like, well, we have to do something with Rochelle and Tara. We got to do something. We have to, like, give them something, like, give them a piece of the land or whatever. And Bishop was like, I didn't do anything wrong. If we do that, then it's almost like hush money. It's almost like I'm saying that I did it and I know I didn't. So, um, sorry, knowing that I didn't, so we don't need to do that. And then, later on in the episode, Lady Mae sat down with Tara and, she did that. She's like, no, you know, this isn't going to shut Rochelle up. She doesn't want the house. She wants Bishop to tell the truth, right? That's all she wants. That's all she wants is her to, him to tell the truth. And then Lady Mae's like, but he didn't do it. And she's like, well, I'm trying my best here, and you think that we're on the same side, but we're not. We are not on the same side here. Like, our father is dead. So, like, what do you expect from us? And it's like, you have to look at it as, their father is dead. So if it was your father, you would be causing hell just as much as they would. Especially when you got these people talking about they holier than thou. Oh no, and this is some dirt they got. Oh no. But so yeah, you can understand no matter how much we don't like Rochelle, you just can see and understand why she's like this. But Tara, she's coming from the approach of I'm just trying to make peace here, and then Rochelle's like fuck that. She would bump that shit, okay. Um, so that happened, but Lady Mae back with Lady Mae and Bishop, she was like, until we do some resolve this, I can't worry about getting married and stuff. So later on, so now later on in the episode, let me make sure I'm not skipping over anything. So later on in the episode, Grace, comes back to the house. Bishop and Charity, they're sitting there watching the news. They're talking about how Bob Whitmore is going to announce his candidacy for Senate. Lady May walks in and she's like, "How is he gonna run the church and all that?" And she was like, they was like, "Look, I don't know. He's gonna figure it out somehow." But then by that time, Grace walks in and she's like, "Listen, I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all. So we just found out that Daryl James is actually that lady's son." And so Bishop looked like he had an aha moment on the OWN channel, right? He had an aha moment, and so basically he was like, "Call Rochelle, call Tara, let's call him down here." And the lady man was like, "No, no, we don't need to do it." I'm like, "Call him, call them." So they come over, and then again, Rochelle still, she has that wall up, like, you could tell like there's something in her that's like, okay, Bishop might be telling the truth here, but she still got that hard exterior, and he's like telling her, you know, "I didn't do this. I have no parts in it." Now we all know Mac had a huge part in it, but me, I had no parts in this. But by that time, Charity, she was like, "You know what? I'm not about to just sit here and let my, if they want to take this house, that's fine. But I'm not about to let them tear down the church without having one last fight in it." So she sends the email to everybody. Now Bishop Jacob comes, tells the family that um, that she has sent an email to, was it 100 church members or something like that? Over 100 church members. Basically saying, "Do you want to hear the truth about Bob Whitmore? Show up at the church," right? Well, they all show up. They all go to the church. Bob Whitmore is sitting there and he's talking about, "I know y'all have heard some rumors, but they're just rumors," and, trying to do damage control basically. And then, sorry. And then Charity was like, "Well, let's talk about Phil DeMar's mother, right?" And it's like, "Oh, well, she was a woman who, basically, was helping me, get, people in, the poor community." Well, I don't know if he said that, but people in the community back on their feet so they're able to pay bills and do better in life. And then she was like, "Yeah, but you targeted poor black people." And then by the time that's when Grace showed up, and she had like, cause Darius showed up. Is his name Darius? Yeah, shows up with her, and they have like these, proofs saying that this is what he did, right? And so everybody in church was like, "Ooh, what a great day to be in church." Mm-hmm. So, the tea, the